Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for the element of air for May of 2025. And air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. If you're interested as to why I read for the elements instead of the zodiac, there's a link in the description you can check out. And with that, there's also a link to a natal chart if you're interested in getting a chart done, if you've never had them done. It's a really cool tool because it gives you the 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then it's a 10 to 20 page breakdown of what all that means. It also includes your elemental alignment, so it gives you all the necessary information. With that, we'll get started. I cast the I-ching hexagram before we started the video, and interestingly enough, air, you had the same pattern as fire did. So let's see what the messages come through for you guys. So you have number 49, and it is revolution, leather, and skin, which is an interesting way of starting a reading. So, revolution, not before the day of its completion will men have faith in it, sublime success. Determination in a righteous course brings reward, and regret vanishes. So, as I've mentioned before, when we talk about righteous course, this means it's a moral or ethical course. This is the correct way to act in society and in a situation. So, revolution means you're in the process of changing some things. You're also revealing some things. So there's this concept of where are you at and what are you ready to bring forward? And it says, not before the day of its completion will men have faith. Meaning, there's going to be a little bit of a pushback on this. You're ready to step into this next level, but others are going to be like, oh, they'll never complete that. Yeah, right. But the reality is, you're going to do it. You're going to do it twice. You're going to prove them all wrong. And that's the beauty of what this revolution is, because they will come around to seeing it the way that you see it, because you're going to prove them that you actually do know where you're headed and what you're doing. So, our foundational line down here. For strength, use yellow oxhide. So, if you've ever dealt with leather, real leather, ox, cow, that energy, those kind of leathers are really super thick. And so when you're looking at that, it's saying you really need to focus on what is the strongest. Put on that strong leather outside skin type of energy where their slings and arrows just bounce off. It's not worth hearing their nonsense if they're pushing back. And they're saying air, this is really applying to business for you. At least this first part is. So if you're trying to start your own business, or if you are putting your name in for a promotion and other people are kind of like, you think you're there, don't worry about them. Because this isn't about them. You're going to prove them wrong, because I'm hearing that you have a lot of skills already built up that they don't even have a clue. Like the people who are talking about you, they don't have a clue what you're actually capable of. So put on that thick skin and be like, I'm going to do this, and you're going to watch. So, our second place line, on the day the revolution is complete, to advance brings good fortune, and it's free from error. Once you get to where you're going to be, whether that's the promotion, starting that business, things are going to start moving pretty rapidly at that point. And it's saying, once you get to that point, don't stop the momentum. Keep going forward with it. Like I said, they keep pushing the idea of something to do with your finances here. So when that success starts to roll in, ride that wave responsibly, obviously, but ride it as far as you can, because they're definitely saying there's going to be some good movement here. Our third place line, to advance now would bring misfortune, and persistence would lead to further troubles. When talk of revolution has thrice arisen, act with confidence. So you're going to ride this energy that you've been building for a minute. It's going to be there. And when it starts to settle down, just pause where you're at. Let everything catch up, because they're saying that there's going to be an emotional response, like you can't believe you made it this far. It's like, okay, Take the time to appreciate where you're at, and then and it says, where'd it go? When talk of revolution has thrice arisen, act with confidence. So there's going to be a pattern of threes that show up, and when that third one hits, they're saying follow your intuition, because you're going to know the minute that that third one clicks in that now is the time to step forward and do the next thing. So our fourth place line: regret vanishes and confidence is established. A change of government brings good fortune. So when they're talking about in this aspect, what I keep hearing for that the business part is there's going to be a shift in something that is governing you. Whether that is, if the promotion occurs, then you might actually step over where your current boss is, because that's the promotion. If it's your business stepping up, it could be that you're able to walk away from the job. Whatever happens here, there's going to be a change in how things play in your life. You're going to take a much more forward leaning role in your life, and that's taking power away from someone else, which is actually a good thing. And regret vanishes, confidence is established, meaning once you ride that wave and you have to go through that time where you kind of have to reassess where you're at, get those emotions settled down and all that fun stuff. Once that's done, any regret, any negative thoughts are going to pass out of the system, and that's going to allow you to really embrace the next level of your journey. So our fifth place line: the great man accomplishes the change like a tiger. He is so confident that he does not need to employ divination. Air, when everything starts to line up after you've went through the ride the wave, the little energy drop after that, and you get up and keep going, you're so sure. And this is not, they're saying this is like locked in for you at that point. You're so sure of your next step, you don't need to ask someone else. You don't need to cast the dice or the bones. You don't need to go check with your tarot reader. Am I doing the right thing? You're going to know so clearly that this path is the right one. You might go there for other things, but where you're at, this business proposition that's coming forward, you're going to know so deep in your soul this is what's right for the moment, that is not going to even be a question for you, which is actually kind of good, because that's saying that there's a lot of assurance that's coming forward there. Again, going by off the book, not not me. Our capstone here: the superior man brings about the change like a leopard, and a lesser man promptly switches allegiance. To advance now brings misfortune. Righteous persistence brings good fortune to those who remain where they are. So, what is going on here? The superior man brings change like a leopard. Leopards move quietly. They're stealthy. You have had to move in quietness. Let them make as much noise as they want. They are not the ones who are living your life. You are. So don't worry about them. And it says, lesser men will switch allegiances. Even when you have a little bit of pushback, because you have that confidence, you have that knowledge of what it is that you are working on, that promotion, this business you're starting, whatever it is, in that aspect, you're able to push through all of the other stuff, which is huge. And then we also have righteous persistence brings good fortune to those who remain where they are. This is saying when you reach that point where you're like, okay, I need to they're saying I need to catch up with my growth, so I can't be pushing too far forward, because if I do, I'm actually going to miss what I was shooting for. So I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to deal with what I've got going. As things expand and shift, then I will add more to my plate. But by the end of the month, you're going to be in a state where you can handle what you have, and things are going really well. And now you're in that point where you can actually reassess. You might be in a situation where you can hire that personal assistant if you're in a promotion situation, or it could be that your business is picked up enough where you might actually need to bring on an employee, which is always a little nerve-wracking, I think. But that's what I'm hearing, is that's where you're at. Air is by the end of this month, you're going to be in a situation where you don't need to push forward because you've achieved so much. I'm hearing air, and we'll look in the cards to see what else is coming up here, but you are really going to be in a position to open some big doors for yourself, and by doing so, you're going to advance your plans, but you're also, by the wake that you're leaving, you're going to draw people forward with you. So this is going to be a fun month for our air family, I think. So now we're going to hop into the cards. I read week by week. There's about 5 weeks in May, so we'll read 5 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, someone to guide you through the week or protect you from some of the unwanted things that are going on. We'll look at a message from source, which is positive assurance, some supportive message, or something, along those lines. And then we will look at a little bit of clarification from the tarot. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions this far, and watch till the end and see what else you can find out. So we'll get started here. Also, if you're interested in any decks or the books that I'm using, they are linked in the description down below. You are starting off, air, with the Source Dragon energy. Attune you to the infinite. Be still. In silence, magic happens. Be in the moment. Air, you're starting off with this call to find peace within. Find the now moment. That spark of inspiration occurs in the moment. It's not going to be something that moves around a lot. When you're in those quiet points, whether it's having that cup of coffee first thing in the morning, or it's doing your meditations after you've done your exercise, however that plays out, when you get tapped into that energy, you actually activate a doorway or a gateway, a portal, whatever you want to call it, to God's Source Divine, and it allows you to download and bring in other knowledge, other energies. And when you do that, sometimes it's just subconscious stuff that pops in, but they're saying it's going to attune you to this high frequencies knowledge, which is going to be beneficial as you go through this month. It's going to be a busy month in a couple of different ways, but if you tap in at the very first of the month, it's going to make life a lot more, you're going to understand where you're headed a lot easier. Let's put it that way. So our message from Source is the Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides answering the call. It's your time to shine. So with these two coming together, it's saying it's really time to tap into God's Source Divine, really get that connection opened up and woke up, because the Venusian Galactic Council is going to be bringing in that pillar of light type energy. So as you're reaching up, you're asking Source, you're connecting into this now moment, they're also cascading down, wrapping you in this brilliant light, which is actually encouraging you to answer the call of your soul, where you've been planning this, you've been working towards it, you've been doing all the extra things, you're going to shoot for that promotion, you might even get something better, or you've been putting things in place, you're getting those IDs, the paperwork, setting up the website, finding the building, whatever, but you've been doing so over a period of time, which is allowing you to really set things in motion, where when you get that intuitive push, this is the time to act, you can step into that pattern without even thinking about it. And that's what's coming forward with this Venusian Galactic Council, is you are in the right place. Now it's waiting for the right time, which is probably going to happen this month if we're going to be honest here. But see how your intuition guides you on that one. And our tarot is the 9 of Spring. Protect the fruits of your labors, prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. So when we look at this energy, we look at what the I-ching said. There's going to come a time where you have to pause. There's going to be 2 different pauses in the month of May for you. One, after you've ridden that first wave, there's going to be a little bit of a quiet time, a little bit of a downtime, and then after that, you're going to push forward to a point where you've reached your kind of max for the moment energy, and that's where you take your second pause. This is saying, as you go through this month, you're connecting and being connected with, and that's allowing you to build this beautiful bubble of healing energy around you and projective energy so you can get things going. The 9 of Spring is saying, You have a lot available. Don't forget to take care of the important stuff. Just because things are moving quickly in certain areas does not mean you can abandon others. So keep everything focused in the right direction. This card's literally jumping out of my deck. That way you can continue to grow the way you would like to, and you're not going to, trip over other people and cause them to have issues. So the Nine of Spring is really saying you're in a really good spot. Now plan for the future. You have, as your second week, the Gold and Silver Violet Flame Dragon. That's a lot of colors. Transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transformation, magic, and healing, offering services under grace. This is a call for you to really embrace the transition that you are creating. You are transforming an aspect of your life. They keep bringing forward the business thing. So someone out there is working on a business plan of some form, either a promotion or starting a business. And you have put so much effort into this because you want to change how your life is currently running. The I-ching talks about there's a change of government. You want to be a change in your governing body. You want to be the one that steps up and says, I am not going to be pushed around anymore by this manager, by that type of job. You're going to step into an authority over your own destiny. And that's what they're calling you to do this second week. Is you've done the connecting in. You've gotten things braced up for the first week. The second week, we're looking at forward motion with that righteous persistence energy, where you're doing things morally and ethically for the right reasons. And those reasons are actually going to play out really in the best way possible for you, Air, which is huge. So definitely take the precaution of planning ahead and setting things aside as needed, because that is going to play a valuable role for you. But you're going to start this transformation of your life in this second week is what I'm hearing. We have the Gaia Gateway activation, learning experiences, wisdom transmissions, and earth intelligence. Stay grounded, Air. This is not an easy thing for you to hear because Earth is your opposite. But as you're going forward here, there's a lot of change that's being called forward. And that can actually put you a little bit too much in your head where you might start overthinking. The Gaia Gateway is calling you to, as you grow up, plant your roots down. That way you actually grow in strength. You grow in that pattern of righteous persistence. What we're hearing here is there's a lot of learning you're going through. Like, you had the plans, you know kind of what you were expecting, but now that it's down to the minute, now is time where you're going to learn some of those lessons. Like the I-ching says, there's this energy buildup, you're moving, you're growing, then there's a pause. The Gaia is saying, stay grounded because you are going to be going forward pretty quick, but you're also going to have these different things where you need to take a breath, pause for a second, reassess where you're at, and then move forward again. So, let's see what the tarot has to say. It's interesting to have how different decks respond. Some of them are really active, and some are like, meh, I'll give you a card here eventually. So, we are looking at your clarifier for the tarot. Number 18, the Moon. These are big life lessons. Powerful intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understand the truth of a situation. This is a call to tap back into your intuition, tap back into the divine feminine aspect of life. With the Gold and Silver Violet Flame Dragon, you are being called to transform things. This is saying pay attention to the subtleties. With the Gaia Gateway, you're staying grounded because you need to be connected in so you can hear properly what's coming through. There is a lot of change moving and a lot of movement in this second week for our air family, and so definitely stay grounded, pay attention to your intuition. They're saying, again, dreams are important, but also pay attention to those random word phrases that catch your attention. Like, you might have a YouTube video playing in the background and something pops up as a phrase and you're like, why did that stick with me? Pay attention to those. That's your guides and guardians bringing in information, trying to catch your attention. There's something going on. Are you listening? So That's what the moon energy is bringing in, is this more intuitive, gentle, subtle aspect of life, because you've got a lot of motion going on here. Air. Let's look at your third week. We have the Omega Dragon. Harness the divine feminine power of creation, intention, holding your vision, birthing the higher consciousness. As you go through this month, Air, there's going to be a lot of changes that are, like I said, they keep focusing on business. My guides are really being loud about that right now. But this Omega Dragon is saying the conclusion of the physical stuff that's going on is actually going to awaken and open up more confidence in your spiritual aspect. It's going to open up more connection to God, Source Divine, your angels, your spirit guides. They're all going to be a little bit more aware. You're going to be more aware of them by the end of the month, is what I'm hearing. So as you process in this third week, this is a time to remember moving forward. Divine masculine energy, very projective. This is coming into that, they're saying first pause. So this divine feminine saying, okay, now take a breath, see what's going on, check in with yourself, check in with your inner circle, and follow your intuition and your gut instincts. It could be a day or two, it could be the whole week for this pause, but pay attention to when your soul says enough, it's time to take a break, because that is a huge thing for you right now. So let's see what the message from Source is. Come on, deck. There we go. And we have the Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, and rebirthed by the light. When you've taken those pauses and you start to really understand what it is you are doing, how much transformation you are creating here, this is where the rebirth occurs. They're saying, I'm going to hold this up a little bit more. They're saying this is your baptism into the next stage of life. This is you saying, I'm done being the wage slave, if you want to use that term. I am ready to grow into this next stage. I am ready and I am willing to take the steps to make my life something bigger, to make my life something better. I am willing to step into the light of the divine and move forward in that path. So I really don't have a lot to add. They're not saying a lot. They're really wanting just to push this. This is a time for you to cast off the guilt, the shame, the I don't deserve that energy because I'm just not good enough. Air, you are good enough. That is not how you act. As you're going through this month, you're being brought into that. You've been planning this stuff. You have the skills. You have the abilities. You have got the things in place. This is a time where that activation is going to kick in and be like, now, rebirth yourself. Recreate your life. You didn't like the way it was running before. That's fine. We all have those days. How are you going to change it going forward? Subtle changes. I'm going to meditate every morning. I'm going to start praying more. I'm going to read that book. I'm going to take that course. This is a time where you get to steer the ship. You are harnessing the powers of creation, and this third week is really a time for you to step into that authority within your own life. Whether you're telling other people, probably not the best decision, but you have the right to take control of this thing. This meat suit that we all are wearing, your spirit and physical. Take the power back and you get to steer your ship. Your message from the tarot is the Prince of Autumn, dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. That's good. Cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, kindness to others. As you go through this month and you're waking up in this third week, a lot of these creative aspects. Don't forget that discipline, these four up here, is such an important aspect. Whether you're stepping into a management position or a promoted position, that means you're going to have to be dependable. You're going to have to be chivalrous, which is a form of honor. You're going to be protective of the things that you have earned. If you're starting that business, this is where you have to be there at the times that you agreed to. You're showing and you're protecting your investment of time and sometimes money. You're also protecting your investment of your family. You're showing chivalry. You're being honorable. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. But you also have a sense of humor, meaning you don't take life so seriously that you just can't function anymore. Being too serious is not going to benefit you this month. Having that sense of humor and knowing that you can laugh at problems is actually going to be a huge strength for you this month, Air. So, let's take a peek at your 4th week. We have the Rose Pink Dragon. Prepare your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. Opening your heart to warm-hearted love. There's a lot of heart in here. And divine light. Connect with the love of the universe. This is a reminder that you're doing the things. This growth is not just about, I want to make more money. The Rose Pink Dragon is saying, but your purpose in making it is so that you can set up a comfortable life for yourself, so that you can, if you're single, bring someone into your life. And if you're in a relationship, you want to be providing, you want to be supporting. It doesn't matter what gender you are, male or female. You are wanting to be able to support and help the household. You're wanting to take it into that higher state where you have a more comfortable life, where there's more ease, there's more flow. The Rose Pink Dragon is saying, remember your why. You know what you're doing. That's pretty simple here. We got that. But remember your why. Why are you wanting that promotion? Why are you starting that business? What purpose are you aiming for by taking these steps? This is what they're wanting to bring forward in this 4th week is remember your why. Every single person that I know who's either started a business, took a promotion, shifted jobs, had a purpose, and it wasn't just money. They'll still tell you until the cows come home, oh, it's a better paycheck, but why? And then they look at you kind of funny and they're like, well, I wanted to do better for my spouse. I wanted to provide for my kids. I wanted to buy that house so I can have the land. Do this, do that, whatever it was. There's the why. And the heart is where the why sits. The Rose Pink Dragon is saying, remember your why. You have your message from Source is the Akashic Records, clearing out old stories, releasing the past lives, and freedom. When you remember your why, you start to release the karma. You start to release the pattern. You may have, because this does happen, in a previous life carried forward a vow of poverty because you felt that being wealthy was evil. Okay. But this 4th week with the Rose Pink Dragon, step into the energy of, I release that vow. I accept the blessings of God Source Divine, and I ask to be shown the lesson to remove the pattern. When you do that, especially if you're working with your Akashic guides, if you haven't met them, you can always just ask Archangel Metatron to step forward and be like, can you help me understand this cycle so I can break the pattern and release myself from this cycle that I'm dealing with? And this is the energy that's coming forward in this 4th week. God Source Divine wants you to step into a more peaceful state. Now, does that mean you're not going to have troubles? No, you're human. That's part of the mission we're here to do. But it does say that you can start to have a little bit more peace in life. You can have more quiet time. You can actually remember why you came here in the first place. And that's what this 4th week is really working into. And I love this for you, Air. Your tarot is number 21, the world, a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. Time to release the past. No longer do you need to carry the guilt, the shame, the failures, the things that you did that you are not proud of, the things that you have shoved into your shadow so deep that you think you'll never find them. They'll come forward. Don't worry, they're there. But the world is saying in this 4th week, you don't have to carry the emotional burden any longer. It's time to release that. It's time to let it go. The Rose Pink Dragon is saying, remember the why. Remember what you're doing. Because that's forward. You're going forward. You're doing things. You're never going to forget your past. And anyone who says you can is really not being upfront with you. To forget your past is to forget who you are. You have learned so much through those hiccups, those mistakes, those misdirections, that has created who you are today. So you want to release the energy, the emotion attached to it. You don't need that. But don't forget your lessons, because that's how you've developed into the amazing, shining person you are today. So our 5th week's energy is the Silver Lunar Dragon. Bathes you in divine feminine light. Okay, I'm not even finished reading this card until I say this. Air, if you are feminine energy, really focus, bring that in. This is a period of time for your strengths. If you happen to be the masculine energy, this is saying find your balance with the feminine, because there is a balance, the yin yang, however you want to look at it. This month is about balancing that feminine into the masculine. The masculine's already pretty strong. Bring the feminine up to the balance is what I'm hearing. Okay, back to the card. Come into balance, practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. Causal chakra just above the crown and about 3 inches back, so it sits back just behind your head. This is accessing your ancestral bloodline, your masculine and feminine bloodline. It's also access to your spiritual line. All of the people who have encouraged you, taught you, the spiritual lineage you're attached to, this is where all of that sits, is in that causal chakra. The Silver Lunar Dragon is saying, remember who you were so that you can step confidently into who you are now, which allows you to become the person you want to be in the future. Air, you have got a lot of energy moving this month. There is a lot of change, a lot of transitioning into higher frequencies and higher energies. They're saying business is a part of it, but that's the physical aspect. The thing that you're doing in the financial aspect of your life is the physical. You also have a spiritual journey that you're dealing with, and I say dealing with as in this is something that's going on whether you realize it or not. And that's causing so much change that by the end of the month, you're going to need that second pause, because holy growth, here we go. So your message from Source is the Akashic Stargate, aligned with your purpose, crossroads. There's no wrong path for you. As you go forward through the rest of this month and stepping into the next aspect of the year, it's saying, look at how far you've come. Notice what you have released, the karma, the lessons, the frustration. Notice the lessons you've learned, how to handle situations. You have that thicker skin, that thick oxhide leather that has shown that you can handle a lot more than you originally gave yourself credit for. Air, this month is so much about you blossoming into the next stage of your soul's journey, and they're saying that it's actually a really good time for Air to do something new, try something out. Doesn't mean you have to go all out there and quit your job and run away and go buy an island somewhere. It's saying do the things that you've wanted to do for a while. Put into play the plans that you have been setting up. They're saying that you've been planning this, you've been working towards this for a while. And for those writers out there, not sure why this is coming in right now. For those of you who are writers, you have the manuscript, you have the poetry collection. See what you can do with that this month. Check out doing a proposal letter. Sorry, they were showing me a letter with words, and I'm like, what is this called? Send a proposal letter. Try to maybe self-publish if you feel led to go that direction. But they're really wanting to say, this is that you've been sitting on this manuscript for a while. Now it's time to see what you can do with it. See how you can grow with it. Like, there's a lot of movement available for you this month, Air. Your last tarot, and that's interesting, you've had 3 major arcanas here. We had the moon, we had the wheel, and this is number 3 with number 7. This is your chariot, or the world, not the wheel. Number 7 is the chariot, success that comes from dedication, self-discipline, celebrate your accomplishments, being in the spotlight. This month is about you, Air. but you're doing your movements in quiet. Your energy, the things you've been planning, have been done behind the scenes. By the end of the month, everyone will know. Everyone in your circle will know. Who knows? You might be big enough, other people know too. What's happening is the result of your hard work. If it's financial and that's what they keep focusing on for some reason, this is where you get to step into, look, I actually got my business off the ground. Look, I actually got the promotion. Other people are going to be just a little bit like gobsmacked, for lack of a better word, where they're like, they did it? Air actually succeeded? Yes, you succeeded, Air. And the Chariot is saying, the movement has been swift, the change has been powerful, but your momentum is not over yet. You're going to carry this through for a while. I'm hearing 6 to 8 months. So see where this plays out by the fall, by Samhain, by December, by Yule, if you will. There's a lot of opportunity for you this month, Air. The ball is literally in your court. So with that, we'll wrap up this reading. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your month. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, how did this resonate with you, and I will see you in the next video.